Panda Chief Tan Snowman here. Tuning in. See, I've got YouTube Live going over here at pandapoles.com/live. I've got Facebook Live going on my phone right here. And I've also got my camera recording this. That should tell you this is kind of important. Anyhow, I don't know how many of you heard the announcement that I made last Thursday, only on Facebook.com. But I had announced that we were going to probably close down shop on April 1st. And it was a very difficult video to make, and it was very difficult. You know, it took a lot for me to make that live video, but I didn't realize the kind of impact it was going to have. And I guess I kind of sold myself short in thinking that it wasn't going to really generate the kind of attention that it did. But the response from the community was absolutely overwhelming. I received hundreds of emails, phone calls, text messages, comments, so many people writing in, letting me know how much Panda Poles means to them and how big of a deal Panda Poles is to them in their life, and how sad it would make them if we closed down shop. So after seeing that response, I started kind of rethinking things. And, you know, I'd gone through a lot of that already. I already thought through a lot of this, but it didn't really hit me the way it did on Thursday. I was just completely overcome with the amount of support that I was shown, overwhelmed. Not only that, but we also had yesterday Alex Hall, our boy Alex Hall, who's been riding for the Panda Tribe since 2013 or so. He took gold medal at the X Games yesterday. And with the support from the community combined with a win from Alex Hall, I think I want to give this one last shot. And I'm reaching out to the community to see if you guys would like to help us generate a crowdfunding campaign for Panda Poles version 2.0. And so the basic gist of that is I've had this design. I should actually show you the prototype. But we've had this telescoping pole that I made in probably 2014 or so. This has been around for a while, but we just use hose clamps on it to do the proper action on the telescoping. I actually need a screwdriver for this one to work. But anyhow, the basic design is this loosens up and these slide in and out. So this has been around for a minute. This is something I've been working on for a while. I've been working with my friend Danny Sluter on the getting proper clamps for these. So we could just do a flick lock clamp. We have those designed. Might need a few tweaks. We've 3D printed a few of them. They seem to work pretty well. So anyhow, that's one item. The next item, and this is what I've actually got drawings of. The idea is to have interchangeable baskets. So instead of having the basket attached directly to the bamboo, we would have this end cap. And then at the top, we'd also have a cap. This one's 3 inches. This one's 1.5 inches. This one would hold the various grips. So, you know, we might have 2 or 3 styles of grip that can click on and off. And then down here, you can have your two or three styles of baskets that click on and off. So on park day, you shred your park basket. Pow day, shred your plunger baskets. And then maybe your shredder basket just for all mountain general purpose ripping. So I've been working with Danny a little bit on this, but could maybe use some assistance with some engineering on that. But that's kind of where I'm thinking about taking this. Is I really do want to give this a second shot for crowdfunding. A lot of people reached out and said they'd love to help with the crowdfunding. They'd love to help set up the campaign, manage the campaign, and promote the campaign. So for anybody who is interested in helping us do an Indiegogo campaign, you can sign up to help at pandapoles.com/volunteer. You know, I just realized I didn't even turn on the lights over here. We need better lighting. One sec. This live video stuff is a whole different ball game, and I'm actually going to turn down the volume on the music a little bit. The music that's playing is a mix I put together. It's a test mix. I'm DJing at Building Man Sustainable Living Arts and Music Festival in May. Jinkstars.com is where you can find out more about that. But anyhow, if you want to sign up to volunteer to help us run a crowdfunding campaign for Panda Poles version 2.0, we would love some assistance. We'd love to get assistance with things such as, let's see, I'm going to go to the page, web and graphic design, video graphics, 3D modeling, mechanical engineering, product design, financial planning, clerical, office work, creative writing, digital promotion and marketing, grassroots, word of mouth promotion and marketing, and maybe even a little customer service. We're seeing where this goes. We're giving it another shot in this direction. We have had interest shown by about 6 different investment groups so far that have reached out to us about potentially investing in the company after they've seen the financials. But before we go down that route, I really just want to give this crowdfunding through Indiegogo a shot. And so thank you to the community for inspiring me to give it another final go. I feel like I've given it 100 final goes, but I think this is a really good potential. I feel like it has really good potential. I also forgot to mention something, as well as the overwhelming response from the community and the 6 offers from, or 6 investment groups that are interested, and the Alex Hall win and the X Games. And we also had our biggest 3 days of sales in our company's history, and our biggest single day of sales on Thursday after I made the announcement that we were closing. So I could not believe the amount of support we were showing. I would say, I've said that a couple times now, but it still is blowing my mind how amazing the community support was. I probably cried for hours on Thursday reading through everybody's responses. Let's see, I actually took notes. I don't do that every time, but this time I was like, there's too much important stuff to talk about. I've got to take notes. Again, sign up for Panda Poles, volunteer for Panda Poles version 2.0 at pandapoles.com/volunteer. You can also join the Panda Tribal Council on Facebook. We have a group on Facebook where you can keep up to date with some of the more goings on with this campaign that we're going to build. That'll probably be one of our key communication hubs. That's Panda Poles Tribal Council on Facebook. Let's see, number 7. Nope, we're on 8 now. I think one of the biggest issues I personally have with running this business is having to handle so much computer and office work. I really didn't picture myself being a desk jockey when I first started making this business, but after a while, it became pretty clear that I had to spend a lot of time on my computer every day. Sometimes I'm spending 4 to 6 hours just writing emails, and gets to be a bit draining. But anyhow, another one of the big issues that I was having is I feel isolated in Pocatello sometimes. I moved back here in 2012 2013 after my son was born, and I love the town for its access to the outdoors, and there's a lot of really nice, quaint aspects about it. It's very safe and it's quiet, but I do definitely start to feel isolated here. There's not a ton of social interaction that goes on. My main place of social interaction was the ski hill, which I haven't been skiing there this year. So I really haven't had a whole lot of social interaction outside of the dojo or outside of just with my family. So anyhow, I think that to me, sometimes when I feel like I'm stuck in Pocatello, it makes me kind of get stir crazy. And I think that's something that I battle with pretty regularly. But after making that video on Thursday, it occurred to me how connected I really am to the world. when I choose to be, and how many good friends and supporters I really do have, that are not just supporters. I mean, people were telling me I changed their life. I got emails from kids telling me I changed their whole life, changed their whole perspective on what it means to be a good person and what it means to do the right thing and to try and make a difference in the world. And so that can really stoke my fire that did really stoke my fire when I heard the level to which I've impacted some individuals. So I really do feel like much more connected, even just after that one video. It did my heart a lot of good. And let's see, number 9. After we do this crowdfunding, if it is successful, I would like to potentially form a community co-op out of Panda Poles. Instead of LLC, I'd like to see it maybe shift over to a community co-op, because it's pretty clear to me that it's a hugely community-driven business and community-driven project, and I want to offer that up to the community to potentially make this our project and not just my project. So that is potentially in the works. Let's see, I went over that. Something I didn't mention in the video the other day is how much support I really do get from our 2 employees, Chris and John. Currently, Chris Miller and John Wagner are the 2 employees currently. We have a couple subcontractors as well, Jerry Waters and Chelsea Millward, and those 4 people are so crucial to making this happen, and they do provide me a ton of support. After watching that video the other day, I felt kind of guilty for not mentioning them and for not giving them proper accolades for everything they do bring to the table, because they're heroes to me. Like, if it wasn't for them, this business would have crushed me a long time ago. And anybody who's been involved with this business over the years, I've had so much help from so many people building Panda Poles, and everybody who's had a part in that and had a hand in making poles is so important to me. And even if they don't work here anymore, and even if we maybe had a falling out of some sort, I still appreciate and respect everybody who's worked at Panda Poles. They're all a very crucial part of making this happen. Let's see, I think I am basically all done with all that. Other than I did want to just kind of tell a story about the beginnings of Panda Poles. Not many people know this about how Panda Poles started, but this was 2008. I'd been heavily involved with shamanism or shamanistic practices for a few years leading up to 2008. So it was definitely something that I was very captivated by, and it was a really important part of my world was shamanic practices. And on April 8th, 2008, during one particular shamanic ceremony I was conducting on my own, I had to go to the bathroom, so I was outside at the base of Little Cottonwood Canyon. My house was awesome. It was this overlooked Lakai restaurant right at the base of Little Cottonwood. It was a beautiful night, full moon over the canyon, absolutely glorious. And I was outside enjoying that during this shamanic ceremony, and I had to use the bathroom. Normally, I would have gone to the bathroom outside, but for some reason, I was pulled inside. So I go inside, and as I'm walking through the living room, the TV is on, but it's muted. And I think it was Fish that was playing on the stereo. My roommate, Jay, was really, really into Fish, and I think Johnny was also into Fish. But there was Fish playing, and I'm walking through the living room, and it's the Obama versus Hillary debate, April 2008. And I kind of like start looking at the TV as I'm walking through, and I'm seeing Obama talking, but I can't hear what he's saying. And I just kind of went into a visionary state where I saw Obama get elected to 2 terms, and I saw the sustainability movement coming around. And then towards the end of this vision, it was like out of the clouds, basically, these poles were handed down to me. I could see them clear as day. It was like, they looked like samurai swords with big, long samurai grips and big fat hemp straps and these cone-shaped baskets. And then, of course, the bamboo. And it was such an impactful experience that I went to Oakley White Allen, one of my partners in this business. He and I worked together at Snowbird at that time. I went to him the next day and told him, "Hey, bud, I had this crazy vision last night." And after getting done telling him, he was like, "Man, let's make this happen. Let's get this business rolling." You know, I wanted to make poles with my bamboo ski poles with my buddy Rob DeMonte back in the day, and so this just resonates with me. And so basically, Oakley and I at that point started working on Panda Poles, and I did all of the fundraising to be able to afford all the parts and pieces. And then our friend Johnny Anitzberger did a lot of the engineering and design work on the original poles. He and I worked very closely together designing those. And so after a few iterations and 3 years of working on it, by 2011 we were ready for market, and we put the poles to market. In the video that I did the other day, I was saying 9 years and 8 years. Well, it was actually 11 years and 8 years. I've been working on this project since 2008, and the business has been around since 2011. So anyhow, that was it. Over the years, anytime I've come up against a really tricky situation or something where my faith gets tested, I try to remind myself that Spirit handed me this vision. This wasn't my idea. I was just a conduit for the information to flow, and that I really can't. If I'm doubting what vision had intended for me, that's pretty short-sighted, and it's maybe missing the point. So usually I end up grounding back with, yeah, this is beyond me. This is more than me. This is way bigger than me. And it was proven to me the other day when I made that video, because the community showed me how big this is, how big the spirit of Panda is. It is such a big spirit, and it is so rich and so beautiful. And I was going to try not to cry in this video, but I'm getting a little choked up thinking about some of those facets. Also, thanks Greg Teresh for throwing a little fuel on the fire. He's one of the naysayers in a video, or he was the only naysayer in the video that I posted. And sometimes I did this a lot in the past, and I haven't seen it much lately, but any naysayers that I had in the past tell me, "Oh, good luck with that," or like, "Good luck reinventing the wheel." That was always a fuel on the fire. I was like, I've got to make this work, man. I've got to prove them wrong. And I will say that the community inspired me way more than the naysayers, but the naysayers always do give me a little bit of inspiration, because I love proving naysayers wrong. And I love showing people that this collective thing that we can do is bigger than any one of us individuals. Anyhow, I don't need to go on too much longer. You guys got the gist of this, I believe, if you've watched it from the beginning. Basically, we're going to try for Panda Poles version 2.0. We're going to give this another shot, doing an Indiegogo campaign. So anybody who wants to volunteer to be a part of helping us set that up, manage it, promote it, visit pandapoles.com/volunteer, and we'd love to have you join the movement. If you have any questions about anything ever, feel free to email me personally, tansnowman@pandapoles.com, or you can always email tribe@pandapoles.com. I pretty much respond to all those emails. So you're always going to get a nice personal response from me. Chris Miller, my right-hand man, he's actually my left-hand man. He's left-handed. He handles a lot of our Instagram. He's been making a lot of posts for us over the last year. I made every post for the first 1,800 posts, and the last 200 or so, Chris has done the majority of them, and he's been handling a lot of the customer service and questions on Instagram. So mad love to Chris for that help, and yeah, mad love to you all for all the support. Like, you guys can give yourselves a pat on the back for inspiring me to keep this moving, and couldn't do it without you guys. It's incredible. And yeah, I'll be in touch though. look forward to getting you guys signing up, and look forward to keeping you guys updated with live videos, especially now that we have this live embed on our website. So it's a pretty cool thing. Anyhow, thanks, guys, and mad love. Tribe up.